collectibles, just buy 1 ounce of gold, 1 ounce of silver. And I save gold, and if I have to run, I'll spend the silver.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that the investment into gold or silver should be through an ETF. And of course, a lot of hedge funds, a lot of fund managers have no ability. It's not in their mandate to buy physical. So they are part of the problem, because the minute you start buying paper, gold and silver, what you're doing is you're empowering these same crooks to manage the price, because they will use that dilution in a concentrated form. And this is when I spent all these years ago, in 2010 onwards, working with the CFTC and the DOJ, and talking about giving them evidence of market manipulation, giving them absolute clear evidence, sitting in front of the DOJ with 88 examples on a screen of board level intervening. And we're talking about JP Morgan, we're talking about all the major banks here. And basically what they were saying was, I mean, really, this is enough to take down the too big to fail banks. This is enough to instigate class action suits in the billions and trillions against these banks. And what do they say? Yeah, Andy, what about the economic consequences of this? So yes, this paper game is the problem. People are the people that buy this paper. You borrow these chips from the casino, and you then use margin and borrow it from them, and wonder why you suddenly got rinsed. You're just giving power. And this is one of the things we try and tell people. Don't give the power back to these crooks, because as you've just said, physical gold, physical silver, and whether it's in your hands, whether it's on the blockchain and auditable in an immutable way, then you cannot possibly, you're just part of the problem rather than the solution.
And what I say with people, you haven't started, start with silver. It's about 25 bucks. Get 10 of them, 250, live dangerously. And what else I say to people, gold is for saving. Silver is for spending. So in case what hits the fan, which it will soon, when the whole thing comes down like a house of cards, and as Jim Rickard says, you won't be able to buy gold at any price at that point, because the panic will be on. There's not enough gold there's shortages of gold right now. Premiums are high. But when that collapses, which is coming, we don't know when, but it's coming, you won't be able to buy the physical stuff, because all the people that sold the derivatives, like the ETFs, will be buying it. And the guys you bought the ETF from are your biggest competitors. If you understand that's how screwed up the whole market is, you stay away from paper and you buy as much hard physical gold and silver today. And not numismatic, I don't mean don't go into collectibles, just buy 1 ounce of gold, 1 ounce of silver. And I save gold, and if I have to run, I'll spend the silver.
Well, yeah, and I think that brings us into what we try to bring to our members of our subscribers to the Live from the Vault is we try and give the wholesale side of the market. We experience wholesale supply demand issues that are completely alien to what's going on in the paper markets, and I think so. You just mentioned something to me about when you were in Vietnam. I mean, you're talking about behind enemy lines all those years ago. Spot. I mean, talk about fungibility. I mean, 5,000 years or more of history. That is the only money that really has any value. And I think, talk about silver. And I raised this. We went to our Liechtenstein vaults recently. And we wanted to show, look, here's all this silver coming in to back up your currency. And I showed this $1 silver coin here. And it's 1902. That's it, 1902. And the thing is about this one silver coin is that it'll now buy you 30 times what it did in 1902. And I think that's what I always carry this in my pocket. Because whenever I meet, they say, oh, gold, silver, yeah, but we don't know what that is. Yeah, this is what this is. It is real hedge. It's wealth preservation, number one. Forget making money. Wealth number preservation is the number one thing that we try and teach people to, before you try and make money, keep what you've got. And as you just rightly said, how many ounces do you have? Physical do you have?
Well, let me put it this way. I paid $50 for that Krugerrand in Hong Kong. If I said I'd sell you that Krugerrand for $50, would you buy it?
Oh my goodness me. Well, do you know there are people out there who would probably say no? It's the strangest thing. It's amazing.
Well, this is the real thing. This is a Zimbabwe dollar. We've all seen these pieces of toilet paper. What is this? 10 billion. That's what this magazine is saying.
Yeah.
Economists. This is what they're doing. So I said, like people discuss the BIS, Bank of International Settlements, this, and this. I have traveled the world digging for gold and silver. I was in the Andes up at 14,000 feet. And like you said, it was 5,000. I don't know how many years the Incas were there. But I still remember standing in the Andes and seeing these lines going across the mountaintop. And I asked my geologist with me, I said, what is that? He says, 1,000 years ago, the Inca were tracking gold up a mountain. And I said, 1,000 years ago, the Inca, before the Spaniards, were digging for gold. And then I've been in Mongolia, same thing, a place called the Checkerboard, same thing. For thousands of years, humans have been digging for this gold. And this is before the internet and before telephone and before this. The Inca were digging for gold. The Chinese were digging for gold. The South Americans were digging for, you know what I mean? This is before the telephone and internet. So there's something, I hate to say it, spiritual about gold and silver. Humans know what real money is. And that's why I'll say it again. In 1933, when Franklin Delano Roosevelt, our president, made it illegal for Americans to own gold, the more I studied it, like you, I began to realize there's some kind of spiritual or special property to the power of gold and silver, which are real money. Yet most people, Andy, would rather have this. Say, hey, I'm going to give you $10 billion, and they get all excited. This is not even good toilet paper. But that's what the value systems are so off. So I'll say it again. I would stop discussing. If you don't have much money, run down and buy one silver something. Just buy something, real silver, not the ETF, not the derivative. Because that's all fake.